Welcome to Stardust on the Tranquil Beach, a serene and enchanting audio experience crafted to gently guide you into a peaceful night's rest. If you are enjoying the story and would like to experience more content like this, please give this video a like and subscribe to our channel. Before we embark on our journey to the calming shores of Serenity Beach, we will begin with a brief breathing guidance to prepare you for the journey ahead. Feel free to skip directly to the story if you prefer. The timestamps for each chapter can be found in the description below. This story will follow Aella, a celestial being who has taken human form, as she learns the beauty of the human experience and embraces her earthly self on a beach where stardust washes ashore each night. You will meet Caspian, an old fisherman, who will teach Aella about life and healing through his kindness. Now, let's settle into a comfortable position. Allow your body to sink into the softness of your bed, feeling supported and secure. Adjust your pillows, blankets, or anything else that will help you feel at ease. Take a moment to let go of the day's worries and invite peace into your evening. Let the gentle sounds of the sea and the soft glow of the stardust wash over you. We will begin by taking a slow and deliberate breath. Inhale slowly and gently through your nose as you imagine the fresh, salty air of Serenity Shore filling your lungs. Exhale gently through your mouth like a soft sigh, letting go of any tension or unease you might be holding. With each breath, feel your body become more relaxed and at ease. As you breathe, visualize the gentle waves rolling onto the white sands of the beach. Imagine the soft turquoise water during the day becoming a deep, inky navy beneath the light of the moon and the soft glow of the stardust. With each inhale, feel the coolness of the sea breeze, and with each exhale, release any lingering anxieties or concerns. If your mind begins to wander, just observe your thoughts like clouds drifting gently by. There is no need to resist or hold on to them. Simply return your focus to your breath and the gentle rhythm of my voice and the sounds of the shore. You are safe and at peace here. Allow yourself to be carried away by the rhythm of the tides and the gentle whispers of the sea. The stardust that blankets the beach each night brings a sense of wonder and calm. As you listen, let the magic of Serenity Shore surround you, bringing with it a sense of tranquility and contentment. There is nothing for you to do now but to simply relax and allow the story to guide you into a peaceful and restful sleep. Now, let us begin our journey to Serenity Shore, where the magic of the ocean and stars awaits you. Chapter 1. The Arrival of Aella. The old wooden rowboat, weathered by countless seasons and salted by the sea, gently nudged against the shore of Serenity Beach. The vessel, almost as if guided by an unseen hand, had carried a passenger, Aella, to this quiet cove. She stepped onto the pearly white sand, her bare feet sinking into its coolness, feeling an odd and surprising grounding sensation with each step. The beach was a gentle curve, bookended by two softly sloping cliffs, shielding it from the rest of the world. The sky above was a soft watercolor blue, the kind one might expect to find in a dream, with a few fluffy white clouds drifting lazily across it, their shadows dancing on the water's surface. A gentle breeze, carrying the scent of salt and distant sea blossoms, whispered softly past her as she made her way toward the heart of the beach, the rhythm of the sea a comforting song that filled her senses. Aella, with her long, flowing silver hair that shimmered like moonlight, and eyes that held the depth of a starlit night, had arrived at this secluded shore, her heart strangely heavy and yet strangely at peace. She had journeyed far, not in miles measured by feet, but in cycles of time measured by the stars. For eons she had observed the cosmos, witnessing the grand dance of planets and galaxies, a celestial ballet of light and shadow. Yet something had drawn her to this small, quiet corner of the world, a desire for a change of perspective, a longing for something more subtle than the spectacle of the heavens. She felt both a great weariness and a strange, calming pull toward the soft sand that now covered her bare feet. The sun, still high in the sky, cast a warm glow over the water, turning the waves into shimmering ribbons of blue. As the day began to wane, she noticed a subtle change begin to take place, the world slowly becoming awash in softer colors. The sand beneath her feet began to sparkle, tiny specks of light dancing and twirling as they settled onto the surface. Aella had seen this celestial glitter countless times, but now she saw it with new eyes, a fresh perspective from her new earthly form. The stardust she knew was more than just cosmic dust. It carried whispers, gentle messages from the celestial realms, fragments of forgotten stories carried on the breeze. It was as though the sky had decided to share its secrets with this quiet, tranquil shore. The waves that were once a brilliant turquoise now started to take on a more indigo hue, reflecting the shifting sky above. Aella watched, entranced, as the first stars began to appear, their light reflected in the gentle shimmer of the sand. The waves seemed to grow softer, their rhythm becoming a lullaby to the approaching night. The scent of sea blossoms became more prominent, mingling with the salty breeze and the faint, almost imperceptible fragrance of the stardust. She ran a hand along the sand, feeling the soft coolness under her fingertips. It was a sensation that was both novel and comforting. As she walked further along the beach, she spotted a small wooden boat resting on the sand further up the shore, almost as if someone had taken great care in placing it there before the tide came in, a beacon of simple human presence. As she neared the boat, a figure emerged from the shadows of the nearby cliffs. He was an old man, his face etched with the wisdom of years spent under the sun and stars, his gentle eyes holding a quiet warmth. He walked with a slow, deliberate pace, each step as steady as the waves rolling in. He carried a basket over one shoulder, the wood aged by the sun, Aella noticed his weathered hands and how each movement was slow and intentional. This old man's presence radiated an unhurried and calm energy. He didn't seem surprised to see her. He gave her a gentle, kind smile, a smile that reached his eyes and seemed to acknowledge an unsaid understanding between them. "Welcome to Serenity Shore," he said, his voice as gentle as the sea breeze. "I am Caspian." He spoke with a soft, melodic tone, the words rolling off his tongue as smooth as the waves rolling in. He set the basket down, the sound a gentle thump against the sand. The Stardust always seems to draw those who need a moment of peace. It is a good place for rest. It is a good place for quiet. Aella felt a sense of calm wash over her, a feeling of recognition, as though she had come home to a place she had always known. She had come here to find solace, and already she felt herself slowly letting go of the weight she had been carrying. She nodded, her silver hair swaying gently in the breeze. "I am Aella," she replied, her voice soft and melodious, a whisper against the gentle hush of the sea. She watched as Caspian began to unpack his basket, revealing a small pot and a kettle. The scent of herbs soon filled the air as he began to prepare a warm tea. She felt an unusual sense of peace watching him, and a profound gratitude for the simplicity of this moment. She felt as though there were lessons she could learn from him. It was in these small, mundane moments of daily life that true magic resided. As the stars above twinkled like diamonds against a velvet cloth, Aella and Caspian sat together, sharing the warm tea and the quiet murmur of the sea. The stardust glowed softly around them, a beacon of hope and a promise of peace, and a feeling of deep comfort settled over her, like a soft blanket, ready to carry her into a night of restful slumber. Chapter 2. Learning the Rhythm of the Tide. The following morning, Aella awoke to the soft golden glow of dawn, the first rays of sunlight painting the sky with gentle hues of apricot and rose. She had slept soundly, a deep and restful sleep that had eluded her for what felt like an age. She lay for a moment still half dreaming, listening to the rhythmic ebb and flow of the waves, their gentle lapping a soothing melody that seemed to resonate deep within her. The air was crisp and clean, carrying the scent of the sea and a hint of something floral, like the sea blossoms that dotted the shore. As she rose, her bare feet felt the cool, smooth sand, the grains still holding a touch of the night's chill. Aella stepped out of the small cove she had made for herself by a group of rocks the previous night. Caspian was already up, busying himself near his small rowboat. The sun was climbing higher, casting a warm golden light over the beach, highlighting the pearly white of the sand and the gentle turquoise of the water. He was meticulously untangling nets, his movements slow and deliberate. Aella watched him for a moment, noticing how his every action was infused with a sense of purpose and a quiet, practiced rhythm. She approached him with a soft smile, and he returned it with a gentle nod, his kind eyes crinkling at the corners. "Good morning, Aella," he said, his voice as calm as the sea at dawn. "Did you sleep well?" His smile was welcoming and sincere, without any sense of forced joviality. It was a genuine reflection of his inner peace. She nodded, a gentle smile gracing her own lips. "Yes, thank you. I have not felt so peaceful in a very long time." The simplicity of their interaction felt grounding and comforting. Aella noticed the small details, like the way Caspian moved with the rhythm of the day, never rushing or pushing, simply going with the flow of the natural world. She felt a strange familiarity with this old fisherman. Caspian then offered to teach her the ways of the tide. He explained how the water ebbed and flowed, not randomly, but with the slow and deliberate rhythm of the moon and stars. He showed her how to read the subtle signs of the sea, how the small nuances in the waves held the secrets to the coming hours. Aella listened intently, absorbing each word with her eyes focused on the way Caspian moved. The lessons were not delivered in a rush or with any grandstanding, but in a manner that was both simple and deep. She found the gentle repetition of the rising and falling tide to be a calming force, a steady rhythm that mirrored the flow of life itself. As the day progressed, they shared a simple meal of bread and fresh fruit. Caspian had a small fire going at the edge of the cliffs, the gentle heat casting a warm glow over them both. He told Aella stories of the shore, tales that had been passed down through generations, stories of sailors and stardust, of moonlit nights and gentle waves. His voice was soothing, a soft melody that seemed to blend with the sound of the sea. With each story, Aella felt as though she was learning not only about the shore, but about the very essence of human life, about its quiet joys and its simple sorrows. She learned that each moment was a small piece of a much greater puzzle. Later that afternoon, they walked along the shore, Aella collecting seashells and smooth, colorful stones, while Caspian tended to his fishing nets. The sun began its slow descent, casting a warm, golden light across the water. As they walked, they spoke little, instead allowing the tranquil sounds of the shore to fill the silence. Aella's silver hair moved gently with the soft sea breeze. Caspian pointed out a group of sea blossoms along the cliffs, their delicate petals swaying gently, their sweet fragrance mingling with the scent of salt in the air. He spoke of the small things he noticed in life, not with great fanfare, but with a quiet reverence. As evening approached, they settled back near the cliffs and enjoyed a warm herbal tea that Caspian had prepared with wild herbs collected from around the shore. The scent was both comforting and soothing, filling the air with a delicate fragrance. Aella watched as the stardust began to appear, the tiny particles swirling and dancing in the fading light, casting a soft, ethereal glow over the beach. She felt a deep sense of peace settle over her, a feeling of being truly present in the moment, of being fully connected to the world around her. she started to feel herself slowly letting go of the celestial burdens she carried. Caspian smiled gently at her, his eyes twinkling. "The stardust brings a sense of peace to those who are open to it," he said. "It is a gift from the stars." As the night grew deeper, the rhythm of the sea became more pronounced, a soothing lullaby that promised a night of rest and tranquility. Aella knew, with a certainty that settled deep within her soul, that Serenity Shore had become her sanctuary, a place where she could heal, learn, and find a lasting peace. She felt the same comforting pull as the previous night, a pull that guided her into a deep, restful slumber. Chapter 3. Stardust Messages. The third day at Serenity Shore unfolded with the same tranquil rhythm as the previous two, a gentle cycle of sunrise, sea, and soft, starlit nights. Aella found herself more attuned to the subtle nuances of her surroundings, her senses becoming sharper, her heart more open. She awoke, feeling the same sense of calm as the day before, noticing how the morning light gently touched the landscape. The familiar sound of the waves washing against the shore was a soft, comforting lullaby, its steady rhythm a constant reminder of the natural flow of life. As she stepped onto the cool sand, she stretched, feeling the gentle pull of the ocean breeze against her skin. Caspian was already by the boat, preparing for another day, his movements as deliberate and measured as the tides themselves. As he turned, he offered a warm smile, a simple gesture of welcome that felt like the most profound form of comfort. Aella joined him near the shoreline, and together they watched as the first rays of sunlight danced across the water, painting the sky with hues of gold, rose, and lavender. The air held the soft scent of salt and sea blossoms, and a faint touch of something else, a subtle fragrance that seemed to emanate from the stardust itself, a whisper of the cosmos. After they shared a simple breakfast of fruit and warm tea, Aella began her daily walk along the beach, a ritual that had quickly become a source of comfort. She noticed that the stardust seemed to behave differently today, almost as if it had a will of its own. The tiny specks of light seemed to gather in small patterns on the sand, forming delicate shapes and shimmering designs. It was almost as if they were trying to communicate, their light weaving themselves into silent messages, subtle pictures of stars and waves and other shapes that seemed to resonate with Aella's inner thoughts. She knelt on the soft sand, examining the stardust more closely. The shapes were not random. They seemed to shift and change with her focus, like thoughts taking form. She saw a spiral, like a galaxy, a gentle wave, like the tide, and a series of circles, like the sun and moon. It was as if the stardust was responding to her questions, her long-held inquiries about her place in the universe and her role in this earthly existence. As she traced the patterns with her fingertip, she felt a sense of understanding slowly start to grow. She closed her eyes and felt the weight of the knowledge she carried slowly start to slip away. As the day continued, Aella found herself drawn to the stardust more and more. She would sit on the beach, her gaze lost in the gentle shimmer of its light, allowing the patterns to form and reform before her. The messages were not clear or direct. They were more like fragments of understanding, tiny pieces of a larger puzzle. It was as if the stardust was guiding her, gently nudging her toward a deeper understanding of herself and her connection to the cosmos. Each pattern was a lesson in slow observation and subtle meaning. She started to feel like an interpreter of sorts, learning to read the language of the stars. Caspian, observing her from a distance, often smiled gently, his eyes full of knowing. He seemed to understand the quiet connection she had formed with the stardust. He often brought her a warm cup of tea while she observed the shimmering patterns. He never interrupted her focus. Instead, he allowed her to lose herself in the moment, trusting that she was finding her path at her own pace. His presence was always a calming force, a steady reminder that she was not alone in her journey. She was starting to feel more confident in her earthly body. That evening, as the sun began to set, the stardust glowed with a particular intensity, its light illuminating the beach with an ethereal glow. Aella noticed that the patterns had become more intricate, forming complex shapes that seemed to tell a story, a tale of celestial beings, of gentle journeys, and of finding peace within the quiet moments of life. She felt a surge of warmth within her chest, a sense of connection to something far greater than herself. Her worries were slowly starting to drift away with each soft wave that washed up to the shore. She understood that true meaning can be found in simplicity and peace. She spent the evening watching the stardust, each twinkling speck a reminder of the endless possibilities that lay before her. The messages were still subtle, still vague, but the feeling of calm was ever present. She knew that her time at Serenity Shore was not just about rest and recovery, but about discovery and understanding. With each passing day, she was growing stronger. She was becoming more grounded, and she was finding peace within herself. As the gentle rhythm of the waves lulled her into sleep, she felt a deep sense of comfort and anticipation, eager for the new knowledge that tomorrow might bring. Chapter 4. The Sea Whispers. The fourth morning at Serenity Shore arrived with a soft, pearly light, the kind that seemed to emanate from the very heart of the ocean itself. Aella awoke with a sense of quiet anticipation, her body relaxed and at ease. The gentle rhythm of the waves seemed more pronounced this morning, almost as if they were whispering secrets to the shore. She stretched her tapestry of sound that was both comforting and intriguing. She nodded and then turned her attention to the ocean. She listened intently to the soft and inviting sound of the tides. As she walked along the shore, she noticed that the whispers grew stronger, becoming more distinct, almost as if the waves were forming words. They were soft and gentle, not harsh or demanding. but rather comforting and encouraging, their tones shifting and changing with the ebb and flow of the tides. When she felt a moment of doubt or weariness, the whispers offered words of encouragement and support. When she felt a moment of joy or peace, the whispers responded with a soft melody, as gentle as a lullaby. It was as though the sea had become her confidant, a silent companion who understood her innermost thoughts and emotions. She began to slow her pace to better understand what the waves were trying to say. She spent the morning lost in this gentle symphony of sound, allowing the whispers to guide her along the shore. She found herself drawn to a quiet cove where the waves lapped gently against the smooth rocks, creating a natural echo chamber that amplified the subtle sounds of the sea. She sat there, her eyes closed, listening intently, feeling the vibrations of the waves resonating within her. The whispers seemed to tell a story, a tale of resilience and courage, of embracing life's ups and downs, and of finding inner peace amidst the chaos of the world. She understood the story and allowed it to wash over her. As the day progressed, Aella noticed that the Stardust seemed to react to the sea whispers, its light growing brighter and more intense when the whispers grew stronger, its glow softening when the whispers quieted down. It was as if the Stardust and the sea were working in harmony, two celestial forces working together to guide her on her journey of self-discovery. The patterns on the sand grew more intricate, their forms changing with each shift in the whispers, revealing new layers of meaning and understanding. Aella began to feel a profound sense of connection to her surroundings, to the earth, the sea, and the stars above. Caspian often joined her in her contemplation of the sea whispers, offering silent companionship and a gentle smile. He often left a fresh cup of tea nearby while she listened to the waves. He seemed to understand the importance of allowing her to immerse herself in the experience, trusting that she was finding her own answers, guided by her own inner wisdom. He never asked her what the waves were saying. Instead, he offered a silent encouragement, which was more meaningful than any words. She started to feel less celestial and more human with each passing moment. That evening, as the sun began to set, Aella sat by the shore, listening to the waves as they whispered their gentle secrets. The Stardust was at its peak, casting an ethereal glow over the beach, and the sea whispers seemed to swell to a crescendo, a symphony of sound that filled her soul with a sense of peace and contentment. She understood that the whispers were not just random sounds, but rather a reflection of her own inner voice, her intuition and wisdom speaking through the language of the sea. She felt as though she was being guided toward a future that was filled with promise and tranquility. As the night deepened, the sea whispers became a soothing lullaby, gently rocking her into a deep and restful sleep. She knew that the secrets of the universe were not hidden far away in the distant cosmos, but rather present in the very heart of the earth and the gentle rhythm of the sea. She was learning that peace was not something to be sought, but rather something to be embraced, allowing her to rest and feel calm. She slept knowing the soft waves were watching over her. Chapter 5. Aella's Peace. The fifth morning at Serenity Shore dawned with a quiet sense of a completeness, a feeling that Aella had found her place within the gentle rhythm of this tranquil haven. The sky was a soft, clear blue, mirroring the calm surface of the sea, and the air was filled with the familiar, comforting sense of salt, sea blossoms, and stardust. The waves seemed to be whispering a song of peace, a gentle melody that resonated with a contentment in Aella's heart. She stretched, feeling the warmth of the sun on her skin, and made her way to the beach, her steps light and filled with a newfound sense of purpose. Caspian was by his boat, his movements as deliberate and unhurried as always. He turned to her, his eyes twinkling with a quiet knowing, a gentle smile gracing his lips. "Good morning, Aella," he said, his voice as soothing as the sound of the waves. "It seems you have found your peace here." It was not a question, but a statement of understanding, a recognition of the subtle transformation that had taken place within her. She nodded, a genuine smile mirroring his own. She had indeed found a deep sense of peace here, a quiet joy that had eluded her for so long. They shared a simple breakfast together, watching the waves gently roll onto the shore, each wave a reminder of the endless cycle of life. They spoke little, allowing the silence to speak its own language, a language of understanding and connection. Aella felt an unusual sense of grounding, as if she had finally found her place in the world. She was no longer just an observer of the universe, but a participant in its gentle unfolding, an integral part of its intricate tapestry. She felt gratitude for the simplicity of this life. After breakfast, Aella walked along the beach, taking in every detail of her surroundings. She observed the patterns in the sand, the way the light danced on the water, and the gentle sway of the sea blossoms in the breeze. She listened to the whispers of the sea, now clear and distinct, as if the waves were sharing their most cherished secrets. She saw the world through new eyes, not as a distant observer, but as someone who belonged, someone who was deeply connected to the very essence of life. Her celestial burden was now a light feather. She spent the afternoon collecting stardust, the tiny specks of light now carrying a special significance, each one a reminder of her journey of self-discovery. She watched as they swirled and danced in the fading sunlight, their glow casting an ethereal light over the beach. She gathered them into a small, smooth stone, feeling their energy flow into her, a gentle warmth that seemed to fill every part of her being. They were now more than just celestial dust. They were a piece of her past, present, and future. She understood them to be part of the story of her own making. Caspian joined her as the sun began its descent, the sky ablaze with hues of orange, pink, and gold. They sat together on the sand, watching the colors shift and blend, their presence a source of comfort and peace. Caspian smiled, a gentle understanding in his gaze. "The shore will always welcome you, Aella," he said. "This is a place where you will always belong." She understood his words to be a quiet invitation to stay, an unspoken affirmation of her place in this tranquil haven. As the night descended, the stardust glowed brightly, casting a soft, otherworldly light over Serenity shore. The sea whispered a gentle lullaby, a soothing melody that filled the air with a sense of tranquility and calm. Aella knew with a certainty that settled deep within her soul that she had found her purpose. She decided that she would stay and become the quiet guardian of Serenity shore, a protector of its gentle beauty and a beacon of peace for all who sought refuge in its embrace. She was no longer just Aella, the celestial being, but Aella, the guardian of Serenity shore. She settled into her usual spot, ready to embrace the night, feeling a deep sense of belonging and gratitude. The sea whispered her name, the stardust twinkled overhead, and a gentle peace settled over her as she closed her eyes, ready to drift into a night of deep and restful sleep, her heart at peace, knowing she had found a place where she belonged. The soft waves gently washed over her, a lullaby to guide her into peaceful dreams.